At what point did the magnitude or the reality of what you have here and taking over sink in with you, or is it just sinking in now, especially with all the things that you just mentioned, all the logistics you just mentioned?
I mean, it was the magnitude really sunk in the day that I came to the press conference. I mean, it's a pretty big deal, right? I mean, it was a lot of people out there, and it's not like Boone, North Carolina, where we had 2 reporters. I mean, there's a lot of reporters there and a lot of people, and you're in the ACC. I mean, it's big time. And so as soon as I got here, I mean, it was reality's hitting. Hey, it's go time now. And so we've just tried to do the best job we can do with the hand that we're dealt, the guys that we've had, and what can we do to get these bad guys in position to make plays. And that's kind of what we're going to focus on. How much better can we get, and all those things. Now, there's a short period of time between then, I knew it then, and Notre Dame. I mean, it's not a very long time to get ready for Notre Dame. And this season. I mean, it's a great schedule we have, one of the toughest schedules in the country. So we've done a good job of getting to this point right now. I know it's big. It's a big deal. And, we're anxious to get out and see where we're at and see kind of where we need to go from here.
Yeah, as a follow-up, how much did that change your approach compared to how you did things before? I mean, what things have you learned from this that you're applying now that you see kind of working now?
Well, we've really kind of stuck with what we've done just all along. I mean, I think you are who you are. I don't think you want to change anything that's gotten you to the point you've gotten in your career. If it's working before, it's going to work now. At the bottom line is, in this game of football, there's 11 guys on the field at all times. I mean, you can't have 12. There's 11 guys, and then the different ways you can configure those 11 guys, there's only so many ways. So I think so many times people they get confused and they try to do too much. Let's do what we do, and let's get good at it. And so we've tried to stay exactly the way our plan of how we're going to get prepared and how we're going to get ready, and not change that. I mean, we've got there's a process of how you prepare yourself to play, and we've got to do that. Now, you've got to put players on the field. Don't get me wrong. You got to have great players. This is a game full of great players, and you have to have that if you want to be able to compete. But as coaches, we have who we have now, and the guys that are here, we got to put them in the best possible chances to make plays. A lot of teams can beat themselves. We don't want to do that.
Coach. Yeah, Scott, what areas in your team have you seen are you most confident in? And are there any guys who sort of really impressed you by their performance in fall camp?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the receiver room, which we've talked about, I mean, I feel really good about 5 or 6 guys in that room, particularly T2 Atwell. I think he could have a great year. I mean, he can play for anybody in the country. I mean, he's that kind of talent. He reminds me of the T.Y. Hilton that we had at FIU, who's with the Colts now. Very similar type player. And then I think, with Seth Dawkins and Fitz out there, I mean, I feel pretty good about our receiving core. Guys we have some good weapons out there. I feel good about our 1-0 line. I think they're solid. They'll give us an opportunity there. And I think we have some depth at the running back position. I really do. I feel good about that. I think linebackers, our inside backers, I feel good about that. The depth that we have there, the 1s, 2s, really 4 guys that are in that room, the inside linebacker room. I think you'd like to have a lot more depth at every other position. I think the one concerning thing is the depth, and we've talked about that. I mean, I really feel like there's a bit of a drop off between our starters and then our second team, and that's just because of, I think, several reasons. I think obviously when we got here, some guys left, so that hurts your depth. And then we didn't have a chance to recruit like you'd like by the time we got here in December. That hurts your depth. So I think that's probably the weakness there. We got to stay healthy at every position. I think that's a critical factor. And then when you get a guy like Jordan Davis that you can't play the first time, that hurts your depth right off the bat. In the first game. So we got to continue to build our depth.
Coach, at this point, how happy are you with Juwan Pass's accuracy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's been really good. I think he's had some days, a lot of days, where and we chart every pass in practice, where he's above 74, 73%, right around, hovering in the 70s, which is outstanding. You know, he's had some days where he's down around 50%. You know, we'd like for him to be in the at least 60, I think, in order to give us a chance to win. You know, we're going to take some shots down the field, so a lot of times, you know, when you're taking shots, you're not going to complete a big majority of those, but you are stretching the defense out. You're making them, hey, you better back up, you know, those type of things. But we got to be able to hit the intermediate short passes. We got to be a very high percentage in those, and he's done a good job with that. And I think, you know, there's times, man, he looks unbelievable, like really, really good. I mean, obviously he's, you know, big, tall, strong quarterback. When he stands in there and really follows through, I mean, he looks like you're supposed to look. There's times when his footwork's off and the ball sails on him. But he's gotten a lot better with that. But no, I think he got an opportunity to really have a good season and play well for us.
As an overall QB, what do you think was his biggest strength that he improved on, and maybe his biggest weakness?
Yeah, I think the strength probably, and I don't know how much they tried to run him in the past, but every time we scrimmage the defense, he's had some big runs, like really big runs, and has scored on the run most scrimmages. And so I think that's an added dimension that he's got to his game now, that he's embraced. You know, as before maybe felt like more I have my pocket, you know, more of a quarterback that I'm gonna sit in the pocket. But he's been able to expand our running game with the Q runs, and I think that helps. You know, he's got a good arm. You know, the thing that he's worked on, I think, in the offseason is the deep ball, to where he's giving those guys an opportunity to make plays down the field, and that'll be huge because every game we're going to play, there's going to be guys running free in the back end. We got to be able to hit them. Every game we'll have it, 100%. He's just got to be able to hit them. You know, because we talk about a guy running free and I overthrow him, we might as well just hand the ball off, right? I mean, that's a missed opportunity. So you got to drop the ball in there, give those guys a chance to make plays, and we got guys that can make plays.
Coach, Notre Dame had a top 30 defense last year.
Yep.
Lost a lot of guys,
Yep.
but when you look at film for them, what kind of problems do you think that they can cause kind of the offense?
Well, I mean, one of their better players, I think, is number 42. I don't know, he had close to 10 sacks last year. I mean, he's a speed guy off the edge. You got to know where he's at all times. And he can cause havoc. You know, he's more of a stand-up defensive end that's getting in the backfield. But then 53, their other end, he's solid. I mean, he's 6'4", 260, strong, good run stopper, but also can put pressure on the quarterback. So I think they got those two ends right there that cause a lot of problems for offenses. When you have those two defensive ends, then now you're going to put pressure on the quarterback. Now he's got to be able to step up, make a throw he don't want to make. I like number 11 for them, the safety. I mean, he's 5'11", 200. He's not really big, but man, he's active. I mean, he gets down in the run game and tries to, you know, he'll blitz him. He does a lot of things with what they do defensively. You know, and then their corner, number 5, Tony Pride. I think he's a very good corner. And they're not scared to play man. You know, we call it breathalyzer defense. I mean, they're right up in your face like this right here. I mean, so they can play that man-to-man, you know, and it makes it tough on those wideouts because they're getting their hands on them. We got to be able to get off that press coverage and make some plays down the field, you know, because I'm assuming they're going to try to load the box up, stop the run, and we're going to have some one-on-one matchups so there. Our guys are going to have to win. They're going to have to win those one-on-one matchups, and that, to me, it'll come down to a lot of that of what kind of plays can we make on the outside here with our wide receivers and you know, Juwan making those throws.
You've been pretty good about managing expectations, presenting a calm exterior, changing the culture here. Are we going to see a different guy on the sidelines Monday? Is there a maniac inside you?
Well, I mean, maybe. Sometimes we may. You know, it depends on if we play sloppy. You will. I can't stand sloppy play. Can't stand it. You know, but I want to have a calm demeanor on the sideline, no matter what's happening, winning or losing, whatever it may be. Have an even demeanor, and I think the guys will feed off of that. We've talked about it in the past. I mean, I've been in games. 3 years ago in a bowl game, we're down 24-7 at the end of the third quarter and come back and win. Just because you got to have that confidence to know that you can do that. The guys, we're not going to panic. You know, we're going to stay within the moment. But yeah, there's times where you get to a point where you know you're going to get on somebody and you're going to go off. So, but I hope not to do that. I hope we can stay poised. You know, because I want our kids to play that way. I want our kids to play fast, play extremely physical, but also have that poise inside of them that the moment's not going to be too big for them. That when you know things happen, we're going to face adversity. How we're going to react to it. I mean, that's you know we want these guys to be able to react in a way that we can overcome whatever adversity that may happen.
Will the coordinators be on the sideline with you or in the press box, and will you call the plays, or Dwayne, or how does that work?
Yeah, they'll be on the sideline. You know, the coordinators will be on the sideline, and we'll have some of our assistants up top. The way we do it offensively is that we're all meeting together and we're all coming up with our game plan. Everybody's got input on our game plan. I'll call the play, but we're all working together. I mean, we're in constant communication. We have a great working relationship with the guys in there, with Dwayne, with Frank Ponce, and I've worked with those two for many years. So a lot of times when the defense is on the field, we're talking about what we're coming back with. All right, and so that's just how we've done it for years. And so, but somebody's got to call it. I'll call it, and then Coach Brown will be on the sideline, and he's calling the defense. And so, same thing though. Court Dennis is going to be up top and relaying down what he's seeing offensively, what they're trying to do. So, I believe in the team effort and the coaching staff to be able to get us in the best possible plays. And so, but that's how we'll operate. All the coordinators will be on the sideline.
What things have you encouraged about the defense? I mean, compared to where camp first started.
Yeah, our defense is predicated on everybody being in their gaps, and we've gotten a ton better with that. If you get out of a gap in this defense, then you're gonna get gashed. The thing we talk about whenever that does happen, and it will, then we got to get the guy down on the ground and then play the next play. We don't want to give up those big chunk plays. I think that's the critical thing. They've done a lot better job of not giving up those big plays defensively, staying on top in the secondary, and then chasing the football. The one thing, the way we practice on defense and what we've done in the past is we have a chase tape, meaning the defense has to hold, all 11 guys have to chase wherever the ball's at with our with our scout team. So our scout team offense runs a play, all 11 have to go get to that football. They're not accustomed to that. We're still coaching through that. I mean, they got to haul tail. I mean, they got to go as fast as they can to get to that football. Chasing the football is huge. There's a clip that in the Hawaii game from Saturday night, Arizona, the last play when the quarterback breaks off, you guys may have seen it, where the D-line rushes the quarterback takes off, and he's out of the play probably. Well, the quarterback continues to run, and this D-line never quit, and it ends up tackling him on the 2-yard line before he scores to win the game. That's the kind of hustle that we got to play with, that D-lineman, and that's why we do it in practice, because now it's second nature when you get into the football games. We're still learning how to practice that way, but we've gotten a lot better at it. We've gotten a lot better at that, chasing the ball, staying on top, and then staying in our gaps. Now, we're not where we need to be, 100%, but we're getting a lot better at it.
Scott, you've talked a lot about depth and lack of, but one position you keep saying is the running back where you have it. How have you seen those guys progress? Yeah. And do you want to use one guy or multiple guys?
We'll probably use multiple guys there. I think, Hassan's been very, very solid. Hawkins has really come on the last week and a half, done some great things there. Day Williams. I think it'll, all those guys will probably play, and then we'll see kind of, who's got the hot hand, who's seeing it very well, and kind of go from there. But we're pleased with the progress those guys have made. We got to take care of the football there. We don't want to put the ball on the ground. That's going to be huge. All the guys have done a good job with that throughout camp, but all those guys will play.
Last two.
Scott, I'm sure at some point during the process of taking the job here, you peeked ahead at the schedule you'd be facing. I'm curious what your thoughts were when you saw this game, Labor Day night.
Yeah. Well, my first thought was they're not giving me enough time before we play this game. That was the first thought. I told Vince, I was like, man, you could have at least given them a little bit more time. Start out with somebody else. I don't know. But that was the first thought. And then, after that, I'm like, kind of put it out of my head, really. I mean, from that point forward, it was like, what can we do to get better as a team and not really worry about who we're playing? And we really, really the last two practices, 2.5, we've kind of looked at going against these guys. But prior to that, it's all been about ourselves and how we can get better. It's a big game. I mean, they're all big though. I mean, for me, every single one of them are big. And the way we try to see it, we try to treat it in the same way at App. And all these years when we beat Michigan, you play Tennessee to overtime, Penn State. You try to go out and do what you do. Play your game plan, whatever that is. You don't try to do something that you can't do. I think sometimes in games like this, sometimes players think they got to do a little bit more. You don't have to do a little bit more. You have to do what you do. Whatever you're coached to do and whatever your job is, just do that. Don't do anything more than that. And I think, You know, as a coach, that sometimes worries you about your players. They may try to step out and do a little too much. Just do what you're supposed to do, and then we'll be fine. That'll be good enough. And so, you know, that's how I'm approaching this game and every game, quite frankly.
You drill down a little bit on the anecdote you told about the Hawaii game. Were you actually watching that game, or did somebody steer the highlight to you?
No,
As an example?
I watched the early in the game, but I was too late. I was asleep by then. But I did watch the whole Florida-Miami game. But no, I saw it the next day, maybe on social media. I think I saw it on Twitter. Somebody was putting it out there. I forget who it was. And they had that one clip. So I clipped, cut it on. I was like, man, that's awesome. What that kid did was awesome. The way he played. We're going to show the team that clip today. I think there's always opportunities to learn. I mean, I'm a football junkie, so I try to watch all these games, and my wife says, "How do you do that? Because you're watching football all day." Well, I just love it. I don't know. It's fun to me, and that for me that's entertaining. But at the same time, I'm trying to learn. So we're watching this Florida-Miami game, and I'm seeing all this poor tackling. I'm seeing sloppy play, and so whatever you can learn out of these games, to me, it helps us. Let's try to learn from it. But that was a great point in that game, where that kid, the game's on the line, he did not quit. He's a D tackle and runs all the way down to the 2-yard line to win the game. It's incredible. And sometimes those plays go unnoticed, because it can happen in the first quarter too. I've been a part of games where guys break off a big run, and all of a sudden we chase him down. We didn't quit. We tackle him inside the 10. We hold him to a field goal. We end up winning by 3 at the end.
As a quick follow-up, players have readily admitted that there was an effort problem last year.
Mm-hmm.
Is this something that you still feel the need to reinforce?
We reinforce it every day. We want to be an effort-based program. We want to play as hard as we can play every snap. And when we don't practice that way, we point it out every single day. And that, to me, that is how you prepare. If we're playing with not enough effort, lack of effort, that means we didn't prepare with effort. So it should be ingrained in our program. And that is something that we're harping on every single day. We're not there yet. We're not where we need to be with that. We'll get better with it every single day.
All right, Coach.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.